Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome back to part 8 of this McLaren career on Motorsport Manager. Last time out we had a really good race in Doha. Lewis Hamilton, he qualified in first, Alonso finished in 5th. Lewis Hamilton went on to win the race quite comfortably over Kimi Raikkonen. Alonso struggled with the car. He finished down in 9th, losing 4 places, but it was shaken up a lot again. But we are still leading the Constructors' Championship. We've had 4 wins this season to Mercedes 2. Ferrari have had 1. We've got a massive 122 point gap. We've got Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso now. They have been close all season, but Alonso finishing 9th, Hamilton finishing 1st has put a bit of a gap between them now, and it's 25 points, which is the points for a win. So it would need Alonso to win a race and Hamilton to finish outside to get back in with a chance. Alonso though could pull this back slowly over the season, but he's lost a lot of pace. Alonso has seemingly been a lot quicker than Lewis Hamilton on a lot of occasions this season. I don't know whether it's something we actually did with the car, but we've got a brakes build finish now, which is a average part. We can get that up to all the ones 1111, which is quite a decent improvement. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and get the car repair complete. So car repair finish. We're still waiting for a couple of sponsorships to come through. So what are we working on at the moment? We're just working on a front wing, so we'll work on the brakes as well. We'll concentrate on that so we can get them in the car. So 6 days before the race, that's going to be ready. Going ahead a couple of days, Russian Time have upgraded their factory, which should help them. We've got sponsorships ready to go on here. We've got a total at 6.5 million. Yeah, even though this one doesn't give us any fixed per race, it is the best overall. It works out just over 600,000, whereas this one's a lot lower. And then Mobile 1, nowhere near that. It's strange that we haven't actually got a 5-star sponsor there, but 6.5 million is a lot of money. That's going to go straight into the bank. We're still waiting on offers from this one, and we're still waiting on these two being reliable. So we've moved on a couple more days. We're currently in first place. Zach Brown totally happy with us. We've got the chance now to actually choose a vote. It's going to cost £1 million to choose a vote. Let's just have a look at what we can choose here. Short practice. The practice sessions are fine as they are. They're long. We can get the boosts for 2 tyre compounds and the qualifying trim and the race trim fully up to level 3. So nothing about that. Change track levels, add tracks, remove tracks. High merit payments, standard merit payments, points for all drivers. There's nothing really here. The refueling. Refueling could be interesting. It would force more pit stops. It would force better strategy choices. So this guarantees that teams need to make at least 2 pit stops during a race in comparison to a championship without refueling. Should we try and make it a little bit more interesting and force more pit stops during a race? Because a lot of the times we can get away with doing 1 stop. So this would throw up a few more surprises, although we can't get a lot more surprises than we have this season with a lot of the teams lacking reliability. This will not benefit teams with low budgets. Ferrari have a low budget, Williams have it. I don't know, but Toro Rosso have a high budget. India Sauber. That doesn't quite make sense. I'm guessing Ferrari has spent a lot of their money, whilst the lower teams have sort of been stockpiling their money. So when's that actually going to take place? Refueling is gone for a week's time, so that is going to be before the Munich Grand Prix that we're going to vote on that. Real safety car only after that, and low profile tyres. So we've got a lot of votes saved up from abstaining on a lot of things. So when we get to it, we're going to use a lot of those votes, because I usually abstain from voting because I like to let the game decide what's going to happen with the rules. But yeah, let's just skip ahead a couple of days. Hopefully we can get that passed. So we've actually only gone ahead 1 day. We've got the new front wing build finished, which we can now get up to a 1196, which is better than the 1161 that we've currently got. So these two are finished at the moment. So what can we work on? Let's get this front wing ready. 2 hours before the race. We can actually get that ready before the race as well. So what do we want to build? We're still a little behind on the front wing. The engine is up to scratch, although we're going to wait until the end of the season before we build the final part for that, which would be the engine going to next season's car. The gearbox is second best. We've got the second best rear wing. What haven't we built this season? A suspension. What have we got coming up? Front wing needed for Ardennes. Yeah, we'll finish the front wing builds off here. We can put 3 parts in this car. Although it's going to be risky, so no, we won't risk that. We'll just get going with the suspension. These are risky as well. So we've got a good base that we can build on for next season with this plus 40. and a plus 30 as well, and maybe another plus 30. But for now, we're going to go with this one so we can get it in the car this year. It's going to be ready after the Munich Grand Prix. And we'll skip ahead another couple of days. So here we go. We've actually got the vote coming up now. So we are going to use a lot of our voting power. We do have 6. Should we waste them all? Well, it's not really wasting. So we'll vote for. We've already got a bit of support from Toro Rosso, Force India, it looks like, whereas Mercedes, Red Bull and Renault are undecided at the moment. Right, so let's just see. We go for, we got 6 votes here already. Horner goes against. Toto Wolff abstains. Williams go against. Ferrari go against. Toro Rosso go for. And that goes for as well. Then we got Force India going for. So this is going to pass easily. So 10 votes for. So we've got refueling coming up next season, which is going to make things interesting. We're going to be forced to do 2 pit stops. So, and we've just got real safety car vote coming up next. And then low profile tyres. But we're still waiting for sponsorship here. We've only had 1 offer so far, although it's not the one that we currently use anymore. So hopefully we just get a good upfront payment from this one, because the Vodafone one is the one that we currently use now. And we've still not had a sponsorship offer here, and we're right before the race. Male reliability work complete, so let's get into this. We're going to go Vodafone. Right, and we need to fit these new parts. And because we've done a little bit of work to the cars, it's thrown the balance out, so we're going to have to rebalance these cars. So the new brakes for Alonso makes him delighted. And we've got the new front wings. Who had the best front wing at the moment? Hamilton, so he should regain that. So Alonso's actually a lot more happy with that. So Alonso does have the better car here. What have we got? Purple. Hamilton has the best engine, the best gearbox. His brakes are a tiny little bit worse. They have pretty much equal front wing. The suspension of Hamilton's a lot worse, and the rear wing's a lot worse. It's going to be interesting to see. It's pretty much impossible to balance these cars exactly, because all the parts have a lot of a gap between them, usually about 30 points, so it's really hard. You can't give them an equal car. But Alonso's a lot more happy with his car this time out than what Lewis Hamilton is happy with his car. So we'll just see who's quicker here. So we're going to jump right into practice now, run qualifying. We'll be back with the grid order for the Munich Grand Prix, and we'll take it from there. So here we go with the grid for the Munich Grand Prix. We've got Sebastian Vettel on pole position. Look at that, a massive gap, 0.6 of a second over Jenson Button. The Ferrari team obviously making some massive upgrades to this Ferrari car. Vettel absolutely dominating in qualifying. Hopefully he's going to have a reliable car this time. That is what we're wanting. We're wanting the top teams to be competing on a level playing field. But meanwhile, we've got Jenson Button in second. Just behind him, we've got our 2 cars on the second row of the grid. Brilliant laps from Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Albeit they are a long way behind the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, which is actually good to see. And then on the third row, we've got the Red Bull and Mercedes, respectively, of Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. And then they're followed by Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo, who is in the Williams. Stoffel van Dorn in the Red Bull 9th, D'Ambrosio in the Williams rounds out the top 10. And then we've got Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz in the Renault, Perez in the Force India, Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. In 15th, we've got Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso, and Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. Sauber still struggling this season after they had a really good season last year. Renault of Jolyon Palmer 17th, Sauber of Pascal Wehrlein 18th, and has becoming sort of accustomed to the Russian time, rounding out the rear row of the grid. The 10th row, Rio Haryanto, Kevin Magnussen in the 2 Russian times. But we're going to get straight into this race now. We are on the soft tyre, on the soft compound tyre. Hopefully we can get a good start. As you can see, we're not pushing the tyres from the off here. We'll just watch the start and then we'll get into why we're doing that. As we can see, we've had a pretty decent start here. Hamilton holding position, Alonso holding position. The reason why we're not pushing the tyres too much and why we're going to try to keep them cold is we want to try and get to this point, because it is going to get wet. How wet it's going to get, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be ready for intermediates or if it's going to get any wetter than that. We're going to be able to see in about a lap's time whether it is going to get any wetter than that, but we'll speed things up a little bit here. Alonso holding position there, 4th. He gets back in front of Max Verstappen. Hamilton, meanwhile, in 3rd place, just holding on to the back of the Ferrari is Sebastian Vettel, who's lost his lead off the start. Jenson Button getting into 1st place, so Vettel probably being held up a little bit here. We're going to just burn through a lot of fuel here because we know We want to get this down to about -1, because that does make the car about 0.3 of a second quicker, being a lap down on fuel, and then we'll slowly try and regain that over the rest of the race. Hamilton, meanwhile, 65%. We're doing a good job of hanging on to these tyres. Alonso not as good as at hanging on to tyres as Lewis Hamilton is, but we've got the boost now. Should we use it to try and catch up with the Ferrari a little bit? We'll try and catch up with Sebastian Vettel a little bit. We use a little bit of the boost. We'll try to save most of it until we actually need it, and then we'll catch Alonso up onto the back of them. Hamilton actually pushing Sebastian Vettel, so maybe we should actually use it. Vettel uses a little bit of a boost. He's going to get past Button. We'll try to get a little bit closer to Button down this straight as he's battling. Maybe we can pick up something from that. We can't. Hamilton remains in 3rd. Alonso remains in 4th. We used quite a bit of a boost there, didn't we? We might as well use the same with Alonso. Get him as close as we can. We don't want our cars hitting each other though at this point in the race. We're at 50% now. And the rain's not actually going to be there for that long. Although we could take advantage of that still. And having a quick short stint on the intermediates is what we're going to have to go for. Whether we can get that far. Hamilton battling here. Let's use a boost. Hamilton battling with Sebastian Vettel. Is he going to get? He's going to take the outside line. He gets in front of Sebastian Vettel there, using the boost, using his battery power. And Alonso challenging as well. We'll use his boost as well. It doesn't look like he's got the pace, so. Oh no, this is Alonso. I'm looking at the wrong cars. When did Hamilton and Alonso switch around? Totally missed that. Was it a bit further back in the race? I'm too busy thinking ahead to what we're doing with the strategy to see which driver's in front. But it's Alonso in 2nd place, and we actually wasted Hamilton's boost there, didn't we? And it was Alonso that got past Vettel on the straight with no boost, which is impressive with cold tyres. I'm guessing everyone else has got cold tyres as well. And we're at the point now where we're going to turn back down. We're going to go back to medium. This will take 11 laps to do. So we can go high mode at some point when we're thinking about coming into the pits and so on and so forth. We can get back onto high mode for that point of the race. We're going to try harvest energy with Hamilton. He needs to recover this. There's in no real danger from Max Verstappen. We'll just try to chase down Jenson Button here, but we're looking out for the rain. We're at 36%. I think the soft tyres can get to 15%. I still really need to look at the text files to look at what these soft tyres can get down to before they start losing a lot of performance. We'll use a little bit of boost to stay ahead of Fernando Alonso here. Hamilton, meanwhile, tailing Vettel. This is actually really good to see a lot of the cars still, especially this grouping of 4 cars, still being all in with a chance at this point of the Grand Prix. Alonso making a move on Button. Button uses his battery power. We'll use ours to try keep up with him. So who we're going to get in first? That first lap where the rain starts is not going to be ideal for the intermediates. So maybe, since Alonso's leading, he's going to get like the preferential treatment on the pit stop. So he's going to be coming in coming in 2nd. Whereas Hamilton's going to be on the intermediates when it's... Although we're going to have to go with Alonso first, really, aren't we? Can't really split the strategy like that. Because we know Alonso's tyres are getting pretty weak here. We just need to run them as long as we can. Going to have to go conserve with Alonso. Need to just hang on to these tyres for a little bit without losing this, but we're going to end up losing it, right? So we've got to make the call. It's still a little bit early, but these tyres are shot. We can't come in for another dry compound. So Alonso is going to have to go early here. On the intermediates. It's going to be after this lap. We can't really hold on to it much longer. Although the tyres are going of Sebastian Vettel. Button's coming in this lap. They're going to go on to... There we go. We've got rain starting. So we're going to come in for the inter. This is going to play into the hands of Lewis Hamilton though, isn't it? But we can't really keep Alonso out another lap. He's only got... Oh, what's he got left? Yeah, he's got no chance of getting round, really. Without losing the same amount of time as he would on the intermediates, whereas we can come in for the inters and we can go ahead and push him. Hamilton, meanwhile, has another lap here. So we're going to use a boost a little bit as well. Alonso stays in front, but he's going to dive into the pits. And Hamilton, we can go back up medium. We can go high. We can push Hamilton now. We'll set up his pit stop for the inters. Oh, cancel. Don't want to cancel that, do we? Right, we're going intermediates. Don't need to fix anything. Pit strategy. It's not going to make any difference. So where is Alonso here? We get back out into 4th place. And the Ferrari And Mercedes slowing the pits again. We've got rain. Alonso's going to be slow on this tyre. And what did Vettel came in for the Inter's button? Where is Button? I can't even see him. Button's gone all the way down to 18th. 19th? He's still in the pits, is Jensen Button. Why are these cars losing so much performance? Don't get it. I think the AI puts parts in the cars before they're even ready. Why aren't we on slicks yet? We're on slicks because it's just started raining, Fernando. Don't complain. And Raikkonen taking a hell of a long time in the pits as well. So Alonso 7th. I don't think this is going to play into his hands. He's far enough behind now. That Hamilton's going to pick up the advantage because he was able to hang on to his tyres a lot longer than Fernando did. Right, so we'll recover this fuel and Alonso can go into high mode for a bit now. Try and even up the fuel loads. He's 5 seconds behind. So rain is going to stop. We'll just try to go as long as we can on this intermediate tyre. We actually still had him on. We can waste a lot of tyre now for Fernando. We'll let him make up for it by letting him go into overtake mode. We'll try and even our cars back up a little bit. So Alonso now getting past Carlos Sainz. Sainz locks up. Sainz on the hard tyre in the rain here. I don't know what Sainz is trying to do. Whether he's trying to get through the rain and then switch to a dry compound tyre without going on to a wet compound. Or an intermediate compound even. And we're going to have to go back medium with Alonso. Let him push a little bit. So what was the last lap? Hamilton pushed it a little bit as well. Even them up. 6 seconds. So let's just see what the lap times are this time round. Hamilton coming across the line does a 1:39.7. Alonso does a 1:38.3. He's really pushing his tyre a lot more, but we're comfortable again. We're comfortable in first and second. Daniel Ricciardo in the Williams has, well, he's really benefited from the Ferrari and Co. having a lot of problems. Sainz on the hard tyre is far enough back that we don't have to worry about him. Rain is stopping. So what are we going to do first? Alonso is going to get the first pit stop again. Whenever we can. We're going to go another lap and then get Alonso into the pits. There's enough time that we could... We'll try even it up. We'll try and be fair to both drivers. Tyre temps are really high, so we're going to get Alonso in. 9 laps remaining. He's going to get onto the soft. He's a little bit too early. Let's just see what the track's like at the end of this lap. It's going to start drying off pretty quickly. We're pretty much on the borderline. Yeah, we're going to get... no, you're not coming in this lap. It's Alonso coming in first for the soft tyre, which should be able to get to the end of the race from this point forward. We'll try a fast one. Might as well try fast from this point forward. Just see if we're over our pit stop wars. We haven't really tried fast this year, other than a couple of times. Good pit stop all around. I'll have Alonso push out of the pits as well. Hamilton, meanwhile, tyre's getting a little hot. We'll try to cool him down, although we can push him, but Hamilton can get a lot more out of this soft tyre than Alonso can. So pit strategy will go fast as well. For Hamilton, I want to see how close they are going to be together once they come in. Boost a little bit with Hamilton. Alonso 4th at the moment. Ricciardo, Vettel still on the intermediate tyres at the moment. Alonso a little bit slower than his last lap, but he should start to pick up time soon. Track's still a tiny little bit wet, but it does suit the dry tyre. And Hamilton comes out, Alonso comes out. Go back to cooling these down. 2 seconds between them, although Alonso's got a Ferrari and a Williams in between. Vettel's slightly slowing him down a little bit this lap, it looks like. And there we go, Alonso released now. Alonso meanwhile now chasing down Daniel Ricciardo. Should be able to take Ricciardo even though he's using his boost, although the boost keeps him ahead here. We'll use a little bit of boost that we've got. Are we going to be able to catch? Are we going to be able to pass him down this straight? And Ricciardo dives into the pits anyway. A little bit too late for the AI cars there, but Alonso second now. He lost a lot of time behind those two cars. Down to 5 seconds now. Should we try and make this a little bit more interesting? About 5 seconds. Well, we can't really have Alonso push though, can we? Although we can let him go into high mode a little bit later. Or should we just let him race from here? Although Alonso is catching. Alonso is catching here. Even though they're both doing the same. And even though Hamilton's got a bit of a fresher tyre. We've got Raikkonen. We're about to... Hamilton's lap Raikkonen. And Alonso is about to lap Raikkonen. So things evening up now. The gap opening back up once again. Hamilton's found his second wind here, or that might have been just from Alonso being slowed down, but he's still falling behind here. Hamilton does a 133.7, a 135.3 from Alonso, so Alonso's starting to slow down here. So first and second here, there are reliability problems still. Look at where he's Vettel at the moment. Vettel still managed to keep him third, but he has had some problems with his car, and as we've seen, the Ferrari is phenomenally quick, but just not able to be reliable. And we're pretty much at the halfway stage of the season. Oh, this is one after the halfway stage, since we only have 15 races this season. Crazy. We'll let Alonso go high mode, see if we can get him a little bit closer to Lewis. Lewis obviously does have battery, he has a lot of spare fuel left, so you can't really take the win away from him. Just the rain and not wanting to stack the cars, and Alonso burning through his tyres a lot quicker than Lewis Hamilton is what's cost him here. We've got Pascal Wehrlein there, who has broken down due to a mechanical issue. It doesn't like we're going to be able to get these any closer, but Hamilton's got problems with his brakes, and Alonso's got problems with his suspension here as well. Right, so last lap was a 135. Alonso lapping a little bit quicker at the moment, although that's probably because we've got him in high mode. What should we do? Should we try and get a really quick lap out of Lewis Hamilton? We'll try and get a really quick lap out of him, since Alonso's not going to be able to catch him. So what we want to do is we want to go overtake, we want to go attack, we want to use the boost just as we hit that line, and then we'll go off the boost as we come through the corners. We'll boost again. What sort of lap can we do here? Can we get him the quickest lap of the race? We'll boost, we'll save a little bit of it for the final part of the lap. He's not doing the quickest lap yet of the race. He's going to be able to do it in sector 2. Sector 2 is the quickest of the race. And then we'll boost. Is that enough? The fuel load back to normal. And he sets the quickest lap of the race, a 131.1. And that is the final lap. Over and done with. Alonso, meanwhile, he comes across the line in second. He did that lap in a 133. So a 131.1 we managed to do there. Pushing everything all out. With fuel right at the limit. Using it all up on that final lap. So first and second here, I thought we were going to have a little bit of a more difficult race. With Vettel, obviously, having a really quick car in qualifying, couldn't put it together in the race. Ferrari still suffering from what's that mean? Reliability problems. Vettel is still struggling here. Williams seem to be over there, as Williams can get Ricciardo to the end of the race without any reliability problems, but Mercedes still really struggling. Jenson Button was in the pits for a hell of a long time. A really, really long time. Can't quite believe how long he was in. He was in front of Vettel, came into the pits, and then was right at the back of the grid. So we got Lewis first, Alonso second. Lewis will now be 32 points ahead in the drivers' standings, 161 to 129, nearly double that of what Jenson Button's got this season. We are now 151 points in front, 290 to 139. I'm thinking of, just because of the way the reliability works out for the other cars here, of not, let's just think, yeah, of not chasing upgrades to the car throughout the season. Because if we keep upgrading our car, we're just going to be even further a field ahead. And I do really want to do the next season where it's 40 kilogram fuel loads, and not want to be miles ahead to where we just dominate in every race like we did in the Ferrari save last time. So maybe that's something to think about, in that we should only build like one part per season or something like that. Because we're at a point now where we've fully caught up. We are dominating, even though that's due to reliability problems. But I would like to see the other teams be able to compete with us. That is the fun of the game. I don't just want to be running out first and second, but maybe everyone likes us running out first and second. So leave a comment down below on what you'd like us to do. Do you want to see us keep pushing the upgrades to go as fast as we can? Do you want to see it more competitive? It could go either way with this, but we've got the new suspension built now, so might not. I'll leave it this time. We can't actually work on it at the moment. This new suspension, meanwhile, is 1088, the best in the game. At the moment, we can get it to a 1117. We might be able to get that ready for Silverstone, or Guildford as it's called here. We'll just answer the interview before we finish this episode. So, your two drivers were fighting away at the front there. Any thoughts about giving team orders? No, never. We try not to give team orders to let one through. Although we do want Alonso to catch up a little bit. We want Alonso to sort of reduce this gap, so it makes it interesting at least for the end of the season between our two drivers at least. But Lewis has 4 wins. Alonso's just got 1. Vettel's got a win. Button's got 2. But Button's still a long way behind. So anyway, that is it for this episode. We'll be back next time with the British Grand Prix. Obviously, it was just the British Grand Prix this weekend. A brilliant result for Lewis Hamilton. The 2 Ferraris suffering punches on the last lap. Flat tyres. Wrecked their race. Vettel, though, didn't drop outside the points, so he's still leading the drivers' standing. But Lewis Hamilton winning the drivers' championship here. But anyway, until next time, it has been another good episode for us, 1 and 2. Although I would like the other teams to be a little bit closer. But if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you down the road for the British Grand Prix. And goodbye.